It's Mezcal Monday, and today we're taking a look at and doing a tasting review of another expression from Burrito Fiestero. It is their Masparillo, and it's from their ancestral line, and we're going to take a look at it and do a tasting review coming up on the Tequila Hombre next. Hello and welcome to this episode of Mezcal Monday here on the Tequila Hombre. Today we have another expression. This was provided by the brand for an honest review, and that's exactly what they're going to get. So this one is from their ancestral line. We did their artisanal line last episode with the Burrito Fiestero Joven. This one is they're from their ancestral line, and we'll get into what agave is used and how it's made here in just a minute. So one of the things I wanted to go over is that this brand, one thing I really like about them is they're really into investing into the villages that make their mezcal for them. And these bottles here are all hand painted by people within the area. So it provides some employment to them to make additional revenue. And if you actually look at the bottle, you can see, if we can get it to focus, you can actually see like the brush marks and stuff on it. So each bottle is hand painted, and it looks really cool. So this is something that's special, and each bottle is probably going to look a lot different from each other as far as how it's all set up. So you can even collect these on your shelf after you drink the mezcal as little art pieces. So I like that. That's really cool about this bottle. So let's see whether the stuff inside the bottle is any good, all right? So let's get into how this mezcal is made. All right, let's get into how this mezcal is made. I'm not going to put a graphic up that you guys read this time because the brand provided me with some really neat photos that I'm going to use to kind of explain everything. So starting out, the mezcalero for this particular expression is Arturo Conde, and it is made in Pino Suarez in Durango, Mexico. The agave that they use to make this mezcal is native to Durango. It is the Masparillo, and the agave that they use is aged anywhere between 14 to 16 years. So it takes 14 to 16 years for them to hit maturity in order to be used for the mezcal. Once the agave are harvested and prepared properly, they're then cooked in earthen pits. After the piñas are done being cooked, as you see at the top, they become really soft, and then they're crushed and getting ready for fermentation by hand using axes. After they're done getting chopped up, then they're mixed with fresh spring water and placed into in-ground vats for fermentation. Okay, here's where things get different between this line, the ancestral line, and the artisanal line. The artisanal line, they used a copper pot alembic still. For the ancestral line, they're using a clay pot still. And the way that this works is kind of interesting, is it has this wooden top on it, and there's a clay pot that's actually built into an oven type device, has a fire directly below it. It heats up that clay pot, and as it heats up the clay pot, the alcohol, which evaporates at a lower temperature than water does, the vapors will rise up into this wooden cover that's on top of the still, and it cools, and as it cools, it comes out the stem at the top and transfers back into liquid and turns into the mezcal. So the difference between the ancestral line and the artisanal line is the fact that they use this clay still. And with this clay still, they also have to use the fibers inside the still because the regulations require it. So a lot of the other things in the artisanal line overlap with what you can do in an ancestral line as well, with the oven cooked agave and the hand milled agave. That's all can be done in the ancestral area too. The main difference is the fact that they're using a clay pot still here with the wooden top instead of a copper still. After it is finished with distillation, it is then bottled at 50.2% ABV in these beautiful hand-painted bottles, and sent off to market where you and I can purchase and consume it. All right, so now that we know how this mezcal is made and some great information about things that they do, let's get into how it tastes and see what it's all about. All right, going up to our pour can. As usual, I'm using the high ABV Stazzle Burrito nosing glass, the best, I think, for detecting the aromas and flavors in a beautiful high proof mezcal or tequila. So we'll go ahead and fill this up with a little bit of mezcal and head back and see what it looks like in the glass. All right, taking a look at it in the glass. As you can see, it coats the glass really nicely. You can see those tears and legs coming down the glass there. So it's kind of a nice viscous mouthfeel to it, which is what I enjoy. The mezcal itself is crystal clear, looks beautiful. All right, let's see what we get on the nose on this. All right, so I'm definitely getting some cinnamony sweetness coming through on the nose. There's definitely alcohol coming, a little alcohol coming through, being that it's 50.2% alcohol. A nice fruitiness coming through, like lemon, like citrus. And a nice sweet fruitiness coming through on the nose as well. It smells really crisp and clean too, so you can definitely detect some minerality to it from the spring water that they use. It smells really good. All right, so let's see what we get on the flavors. Nice, beautiful mouthfeel to it. Coats the mouth nicely. Getting its cinnamony sweetness right up in the front. Then right after that, you pick up a little bit of this tart, sweet fruitiness. I know it sounds kind of confusing, but it's like when you bite into a pineapple and you get, it's kind of a little tart, but got a lot of sweetness in it as well. It tastes kind of like that. It has a little pineapple kind of taste to it. Then it kind of changes into a little more of a tropical fruit kind of flavor. So it's like papaya and mango in there. A little bit of hint of banana. And then after that, after the tropical fruit, then it just goes into like a tart sweetness, kind of like a sweet tart candy with a little bit of fruitiness in it. So it finishes with a nice sweetness. This is very drinkable. The smoke is just a little in the background, so it doesn't dominate the flavor profile on this. It's still there to kind of balance things out with the sweetness. It's not overly sweet, but it's not overbearing on the flavor profile at all. I think it balances out nicely. You still get really strong sweet and fruitiness coming through on this one. I like it a lot. I'm going to give it 4 agave. I definitely recommend it. So I recommend you pick up a bottle if fruitiness is what you look for in a good mezcal, or if fruitiness just sounds good overall. If you've tried Burrito Fiestero's Masparillo Ancestral Mezcal, I'd love to hear how our tastings compared. Did you smell and taste the same thing? If not, I'd love to hear that as well. Have you seen another mezcal that you'd like for me to do a Mezcal Monday on? Comment below and let me know. What did you think about the information I shared? I'd love to hear your comments as well. And don't forget to like the video for all the great information I shared. And don't forget to subscribe, because once you subscribe, the more you like and the more you comment, the better your chances of winning one of the prizes we're giving away. I have a few more to give away, and I'm really want to see you win one, okay? So until next time, like I always say, life is too short to drink bad mezcal. Salud.